welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dusty. This is the Shred Academy. Today we're going to be talking about two styles of jumping. Now we have a jump, and we get over these jumps in a couple different ways. We can jump them, or if you're going really fast, you can scrub them. Now, what is scrubbing? Are you scrubbing jumps? Are you jumping jumps? You can't scrub every jump, but you can jump every jump, right? Certain jumps are just not possible to scrub. This is a mountain bike jump, and to get over, you have to jump. Scrubbing is a style of jumping, but they're not interchangeable everywhere. So let's find out what scrubbing is, and then we'll talk a little bit about why it won't be able to be used everywhere. And if you're scrubbing jumps only, like that's your kind of form, you should start to learn that J-hop. Yes, I know I'm beating a dead horse. I'm always talking about that J-hop. It's super useful to know how to do both. Sometimes you want to scrub, and sometimes you actually need to get to the other side. So let's talk about it. No, not that type of scrub. Scrubbing is a motocross technique that is intended to cut down on the air time. This is done by utilizing certain techniques to carve up and off the lip to reduce the arc of the jump. The one thing scrubbing requires is speed. And funny enough, that's exactly what we're scrubbing off. If we took a jump with that much speed and used our normal J-hop form, we'd end up over jumping the landing. The idea of scrubbing is to stay low, and we do this by cutting the angle of the lip off. Mellower jumps are easy to scrub because there isn't any angle of the lip to really cut off. Do you think you're jumping, but you're actually scrubbing? This confusion between jumping and scrubbing can get us into a little bit of trouble when we progress. Let's find out why. First, I want to address the statement I made earlier that every jump is jumpable, but not every jump is scrubbable. What I mean by that is scrubbing a jump requires you to have an excess amount of speed that is actually required to clear the jump itself. If you try to scrub a jump with less speed than you actually need to clear the jump, then that lower arc is going to cause you to case or not make it all the way across the tabletop. Next, if you can jump and now you're learning to scrub, and this is what you look like, this is fine for now. These much mellower lips don't really force you to have to kind of carve up the lip because the lip isn't steep enough to buck you off of it as you sink your weight down into the bike. But as these lips do get steeper, you're gonna have to learn to kind of carve up the lip so that you can minimize the actual arc that your bike has to take. And this is the hard part, and learning that on mellow lips like this is a whole lot easier than actually trying to learn to scrub really well on a steeper lip. This mellower lip kind of gives you a little more leeway without getting completely bucked. But what if you're not trying to scrub and this is what you look like? Listen, first off, you're out jumping. I'm glad you're having a good time. But on steeper lips, as you set your butt down into the back of the bike and really engage this rear shock, on a steeper lip, this front wheel will start to dive. And because you're not driving this rear wheel up the lip, you're gonna pack the suspension in. And then as your rear wheel begins to leave, it's gonna buck you forward and you're gonna go OTB pretty much every time. So getting away from this style of jumping as you're progressing is super important. So if you haven't seen my J-hop video, link above, go check it out. But if you are scrubbing or want to learn how to scrub, let's go take a look at how I scrub this mellow jump, and then we'll look at a pro scrub some steeper jumps, because honestly, I don't have any footage like this. Yeah, but we'll get some. Let's talk about what's happening as I'm scrubbing this mellow jump. Now, as we've said multiple times, you need more speed than is required to clear the jump. The next thing you're going to do is just start to slightly lean the bike over to your most comfortable side, or honestly, the side that you'd start to whip to. The carve is actually the same idea, but instead of exploding out of that carve, you're actually sinking down into it. Now, on top of that carve, as you start to go up the lip, it's not like you're kind of just unweighting. You're not sinking your weight down or like preloading and then jumping upwards. As you can see, I don't have any preload. I just start to sink my weight down into the bike. Now, as the front wheel goes off, notice that I continue to turn that handlebar. It's almost like I'm gonna table or, again, whip, but this getting the bike to kind of lean sideways is helping my weight drop down on top of the bike as it's trying to go over. Again, a lot of the times you'll see people who are jumping up the lip, not off the lip, will almost automatically table, because that's what they have to do when you have those two opposing forces working. Right now, we're doing it on purpose. So as you can see, and then again, we'll kind of push the bike forward, straighten everything out, and land back in our attack position. If we look at this from the front, again, notice that there isn't any preload. I'm not sinking my weight down into the bike. I'm literally just riding up and then absorbing the lip as I'm sinking my weight down into it as well. Notice the slight lean and carve of the bike. As the front wheel leaves, it starts to turn like you're turn barring. The bike kind of goes sideways, like kind of tilted sideways, not sideways as far as a whip would go. Notice my eyes still looking down trail. And then we kind of push the bike out in front of us to complete the arc, or the small arc that we made. Set the bike down and go. It really is as simple as starting to kind of just do a small carve off the lip, because the speed you have, you're just riding off. Again, you would like to put your body in some advantageous positions, more or less, as you kind of go off. As far as, notice how my weight still kind of shifts to the back of the bike. I'm not leaning over the front of the bike. I know that I kind of have to unweight this front wheel, and this rear wheel is going to continue to travel up the lip and then leave. I don't want to unweight both tires at the same time. That's not what a good scrub is. Basically, unweighting both tires here, leaning the bike over. Again, that's adding more distance to the actual gap or jump, and is completely unnecessary and won't be useful as you progress your jumping. So why start now? All right, let's look at Remy M. I'm not gonna, okay, Remy Matelier. I'm not good at speaking. English is not good for me. But his scrubs are some of the best. And watch as he pedals out of this one, turns the bike over, he stays stable on top of the bike, he's leaning the bike over so as the bike leaves and he's setting down, there's room for each of those opposing forces. Alright, you guys get the picture, so let's go have a gander at what he's doing. All right, as he approaches here, let's get him into the frame. Here he is. Now, as he comes up, you can't really see him because it's a bigger lip. Now, as he's exiting the lip, you can see that he's creating this small carve off of the lip. And while he's doing that, he's leaning his bike over. Now, what that's doing is it's taking away from the steepness of this lip by kind of carving up it as he goes. And that's also making space for his body as he kind of sinks down on top of it. If he were to ride straight up and sink down, he'd get that rear shock buck and send him right over the bars. Now, as he goes through this, notice that he's stable on top of it. He's not really leaning his body over like you would in a whip to get both of you sideways. He's just trying to cut down on the intended kind of flight path of the jump. He wants to stay low. Now, as he's going through the air, he is going to finish maneuvering that bike and kind of deal with the upward arc of the bike by moving it to the side and kind of pushing it out. Notice that his front wheel is as well turned right there. And then as he comes over the knuckle, he's turning the handlebars back down to the direction of the landing and bringing his hips back around so that he lands straight. Now, on this one, he does push down and kind of jump up the lip, but does it too early because watch, he just cases the top of the jump there. So either he didn't have enough speed or his push down and stand up kind of absorbed too much of the lip and cut down too much of the arc. So there is a timing issue, and even the pros, wow, just look at how he comes over the top of this. Wah. But again, he comes back. Little less of a push down on that one. Notice he's got a little more air. Man, really scrub stay low there. Notice how that bar gets turned as he goes up and that bike gets sideways. Right here, that bike being sideways is to help counteract these two opposing forces. His body coming down and the bike going up off the lip. If you're not getting that carve and getting that bike leaned over, you're not going to be able to compensate for the angle and intended arc of the lip of the jump. Pedaling into this one. Again, not really pumping to jump, right? Just changing the direction of his body, accepting the lip. Small carve, lean the bike over, stay stable on top of the bike, turn that handlebar, and then turn it back the other direction. So with practice on mellower lips, you can too learn to scrub like Remy. Start mellow, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you out for the outro. Yo guys, sorry, I guess I deleted the outro. This was a backlog footage, and when I went to go find the outro, couldn't find it anywhere. So we're making it here in the studio. It's too cold to go. You guys get it. We're done the video, right? I hope you enjoyed it. If you did see something that you're doing, maybe you're scrubbing, and you're not trying to, and now you want to go learn the J-hop, go check out my video catalog. I've got tons of other videos in there. If you did like this video, make sure to leave a comment. Always make sure to like, share with your friends, and make sure you all subscribe, you and your friends. If you'd like to support the channel, make sure it survives and we continue to help other riders. We have a few different ways. You can become a Patreon. I've got $5 a month, 10, and 15. $5 a month is only 37 cents a day. Not a whole lot, but it does wonders for me. As well, if you would like to leave some form of tip, please use my PayPal. Right now, a lot of other YouTubers are doing buy me a beer. I'm doing buy me a gallon of gas. or contribute to my membership at Canuga for the winter so I can keep going there and using their facilities to create this content. Tongue twisters. All right, lastly, guys, if you want to buy some merch, I've got a little bit left. I did order some more larges and mediums because that's what was selling. So go get those for Christmas, guys. Treat yourself. Anyways, if I don't see you before the next video, make sure to ride hard, ride safe, be kind to each other. We're all in this together. If for some reason you see me on the trails, come say hello. Let's chat. I'd love to hear why you love to mountain bike. Maybe you'll end up on the channel. If you'd like to get together and ride, I'll be in Henderson all winter long. Hit me up. Hit me in the messages. I'll get you my email. You can email me, then I'll get you my phone number. Let's set something up. You and a group of friends, we can make it work. Cool.